Okay. All right. So I'm going to talk to you about my tournament and the list that I brought and what I did at Renegade Open. So let's see. First up, let me pull up. Sorry, brand new computer here. Okay, so let me pull up my list first, actually. Why isn't everything selected? There we go. So my list. There we go. Okay, so my list for the Renegade Open Spring Con today is a Vanguard and a Patrol. So I got troops, I got the Intercessor Squad, Assault Intercessors. They're cheap and they do deploy teleport homers perfectly around 3, 4, and 5. You just outflank them, deep strike, whatever you want to call it, put it on the enemy's deployment edge, and just do it automatically. If they forget about them, well, that's their fault. Next, I did. Let's see, my list. I did 2 squads of Inceptors with the heavy bolter weapons. They're assault weapons, obviously. A lot of people ask me about that. They are assault weapons, and they're 6 shots a piece. 6 shots a person. Um, let's see, who else do we have in here? We have. See, you can make your list however you want to, but for me, I put the troops, and then I have the character. Doesn't matter what character. I have the librarian here. So the librarian here, he has quickening, smite, and unleash rage. Let's see. I also have on him a melta pistol, infernal pistol, and force axe. I got the sanguinary priest. He is chief apothecary. His blood chalice is very good. You want to do it every single round 2 and 3. You want to do it twice if you can. Um, he so this librarian has no upgrades. The apothecary has the relic icon of the angel, reroll charges, and that's it. Let's see here. I can't tell you how many times this guy brought back like 2 or 3 Vanguard veterans a game. It was really good. Company veterans, double chain swords, 2-man squad. Um, these guys won me so many points on primaries because they would just sit back in the enemy deployment zone. Nobody would mess with them. And if they did, whatever, I'm taking away their focus from my main army if they're going into my back line dealing with them, or an objective on the left or right, whatever. If the enemy is dealing with these 2 guys out there, that it means more of my army can function. There's no reason to run storm shields on them. I used to, but now with armor of contempt, you don't need it. They get 2 attacks base plus chainsword, double chain swords, blood angel abilities. That's 2, 4, 6. Sergeant has 7. It's just a lot. And they got bodyguard, so if you put them in front of the character, they can't shoot the character, which is kind of nice. Another squad of company veterans. So two squad. There's actually three squads. Let's see here. What else? I have Vanguard veterans. So there's a lot of Vanguard veterans. There's one squad with chainsword storm shields, with a sergeant in there. I have another squad with all thunder hammers, 5 man, 5 man. Then I have a 10-man blob with thunderhammer, storm shields, and lightning claw storm shields. I always combat squad it. I don't care if I don't get +1 attack from my sergeant. They're gonna be fine. And if I fail my morale, it doesn't matter because it's it's still like a 7 leadership, and you're gonna lose 2 or 3 models a turn. It's gonna be fine on the leadership. And oh well, if one runs away, you can bring him back with the apothecary. On the sergeant on the 10-man squad, I gave him the relic quake bolts. So it's +1 to hit, and that includes in combat, so it's very helpful for thunder hammers. Next, I have 2 squads of interceptors, 3-man squads. I have Death Company. I have one 5-man squad of chainswords, another 5-man squad of chainswords. That's 5 attacks when they're in assault doctrine. It's a lot. And then I have a captain who's got a gift of foresight. And each turn you can reroll 1 hit, 1 wound roll, and 1 saving throw made for this warlord. It is so good. I can't even explain like how good that is. It's he didn't die that much in the tournament. He died like 2 games out of 3. That's pretty good. He took overwatches on 4s from an Iron Hands player too, and still lived. It's pretty nuts. And you give him Rights of War, and then I gave him Soul Warden, Rights of War, objective secured. Soul Warden, 5-up, feel no pain against mortal wounds. That's an auto include. There's so many people in the tournament that did mortal wounds from everything. You gotta have it. Give him Armor Anonymous, 3-up invul once per game, 2-up armor save +1 wound. And that's 3 abilities for a relic, which is really good. And then I gave him a Melta Pistol. Librarian has a Melta Pistol. Both Librarians do. And the Captain. He's got a Thunder Hammer, by the way. Librarians have Force Axe. That's it. Oh, so the 2 Librarians, this is the Blood Angel one, and then this is the basic Librarian. The basic Librarian knows Velatime, Might of Heroes, and Null Zone, because he has the relic Tomb of Malachor, and that helped out a lot, honestly. I'm so sorry. Rights of War is not on the Captain; it's on the Librarian. The Captain has Soul Warden and the Gift of Foresight. Librarian has Rights of War. I think going forward, because Space Marines have too much. Everybody at the tournament ran Space Marines, and if they didn't, invulns didn't really matter, which is really weird to say. So I think I would take away Null Zone. I used it once in the tournament, and I was kind of sad about that. That's it for my list. So for the round, so okay, so I finished 22nd out of I think 70 dudes. I forgot to check. But like first place guys, they scored as many points as I did. Um, which overall in the tournament I scored 427 battle points. So that means every game I was scoring, like I was losing by 10 points, 6 points, 5 points. I won 2 games, but if I would have won like all my games right, I actually probably would have done really well in the tournament. Um, there were just a couple of factors that really kind of messed me up in the tournament, and they were down to dice rolls, which I'm really happy about. So I can't complain. Um, like everyone else around my range in the 20s and 19s and 15s and 10s, they got like 30, 362, 382, 300, 342, 300. Like I'm outscoring everyone else in my league. It's just the win loss ratio what killed me. So I cannot complain. Um, so my first battle was against Sisters of Battle. He and I were both like I think we both were like waking up. Let me see if I can find the picture of it. Here we go. Okay, so basically, I remember round one was it was a very slow game. We were both waking up. It was I think he was nervous or brand new. Um, so his turn was really long. I remember. Let's see here. I remember he. Oh, he hid. He hid his army, thinking I was going to charge him turn one. And I didn't want to because he had a bunch of melta guns in his unit, um, and I did not want to deal with that. And so I vividly remember turn one. I really did nothing at all, and the only thing I did was I moved up a squad of Death Company to the middle of the board. No, to the left side of the board to hold an objective. And oh god, what mission was that again? Hold on a second. Let's see here. This one was hard to remember because I remember it was definitely not a game I took a lot of pictures of. Tides of Conversions. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, here we go. Let me pull it up. Okay, so round one, sorry for the delay, was conversions. So basically, the mission was we decided to. It was a first game in the morning. We were both tired. He had long turns. I remember my turns were like, oh, there's nothing to do. He's hiding out a lot of sight. I moved up my army, my death company to the left side to an objective, and this is the square ones. And for the secondary special ability was you only receive a CP if your warlord's on the battlefield, which he died round three or something, which I didn't care. Um, or four. Corrupted ground. So score 4 points if you hold the enemy's objective. Score two if you hold it in the no man's, and lose one if you don't hold yours. So I moved him up on purpose to hold that side of the board, and I remember he was very like cagey or taking his time, and he basically brought up these like oh dang it, what was his list? His list. Here we go. Canoness, Judith, Palestine, Hospitaller. Let's see what else did he have? Bolt pistol chicks, which he didn't put down, which he forgot. Um, Crusaders, war suits. Those war suits. That's what it was. Um, and he's got plenty of um, melted chicks. Um, Retributor squads. That's it. And I think that was it. So his war suits came over. It was like a single model, and he was able to pull off retrieve Nachman data, which was just crazy. Hold on a second. Come on, computer. This match is really hard to remember. Okay, so sorry about the delay. So the first match, we're both waking up. He's very slow on his turns. My turns were quick. He was hiding out of line of sight. Round one, I moved up my guys up to the left side objective. We were playing conversions. So you hold the objective in the no man's land for 2 points. You score four if you hold theirs. You lose one if you don't hold your own. If your warlord's dead, you lose a command point. Hold one, hold two, hold more. I picked relentless, deploy, and psychic interrogation. He picked retrieve Nachman data, engage, and leap of faith. I don't. It's something you pay miracle dice. You gain victory points. There's no way me stopping it. I just let him. There's nothing I could do. I couldn't keep track of it. He scored 9 on that. Engage. He was able to pull off engage pretty well too, and retrieve Nachman with that single. What was that thing called again? It was called a Paragon Warsuit. It was like a single model, and then he had a bunch of sacrosands with shields and halberds. like two big blobs, Crusaders in the back, a bunch of sisters, and then he had a bunch of like Melta squads and rhinos. He actually didn't even shoot his Meltas at me all game, which I think was a total misplay by him. I think he should have brought them like I understand hiding turn 1 and 2, but if he brought him in turn 3, like brought the rhino up or whatever, or something disengaged and saw something, just put him in the middle. Is it come at me, bro, or something? Because they did nothing all game, and that helped me out a lot. Um, and then I remember Relentless Assault was easy for me because I was able to get in his deployment zone um, every round because I moved up right for free. He went first. Then I moved up again with my Death Company in charge, and I didn't even care if I lived or not on the Sacrum Sisters or whatever, the girls with the shields and halberds. But he basically um, had no answer for that, and I destroyed his right flank, my left side of the board, pretty easily, and then with that little whatever thing it was, war suit. And then he had these three guys in there with flamers and like big chainswords or whatever. And I remember putting my librarian behind the building and charging him, going around the building, whatever, to his guys with flamers, and that bought me time for my um, Thunderhammer squads to make their charge without getting flamed to death, and my captain, which helped me out a lot. I didn't really worry about Overwatch. I really kind of hid, and then I moved around buildings and stuff. And having the flag keyword helped out so much. I ignored terrain, like a forest, um, but for like ruins, whatever, I go around it like it was like a crate or something. But it didn't matter because I flew so far up, and I could go over his I could jump over his models. I could jump over my own models. The only ever issue I had was going around crates or something, which is not a big deal, honestly, which is kind of crazy. Um, and I brought down a Vanguard veteran squad of Lightning Claws, and I charged his um, Celestin and Sacrosanct, and I lost. Actually, I lost. I missed a lot, a lot of twos and ones, even re-rolling. And then I went to wound, and I didn't wound that much. And he just made. He even said, "Oh my goodness, I should have not made that many saves." He was. That was a crazy roll he had. But I did get rid of his 3-man blob, and the guy trying to do knock him on it and engage. So I was able to hold his gauge down in points because he couldn't get that flank over there, my left. And I remember he had that lady. What was her name again? What was her name? It was Judith. She made me fight less and stuff, so I had to stay away from her. Um, and she eventually got in and took out my captain, and my captain took out her, and she got back up with like 2 wounds or something. And then my Vanguard veterans died to his sisters with the halberds and storm shields. And that flank died. And then the Thunderhammer squad, they died too. I think he brought in he brought in the other squad and wiped them out. And then I remember on my right side, he brought in another one of those little guys, and he was able to do Nakamon again, all in the corner, because I had another squad of Lightning Claw Storm Shields run in, charge, and they did very well. Actually, he had to make 13 saves or something, or 9 or something, but he actually made them all and his feel no pains with one wound left, and that's all he needed because it didn't matter if he wasn't able to do Knockmon like turn 4 or whatever, he fell back or whatever, but he had his Melta squads come up and blast those veterans, and then he did Knockmon again or whatever. And what else happened? Psychic Interrogation was uncontested. I got it 9 times, 9 points. But then my Librarians died. Deploy Teleport Homers were easy because he left part of his backline open, so I deep struck my Inceptors and troops and took the objective from him and his backline. But he was still scoring like 8 points in round 2, 8 points round 3, 12 points round 4, 12 points round 5. And he's doing 2, 2, and 4 for the primary. Like, and I was scoring 2 on the primary bonus, 2 on the primary bonus, 6 on the primary bonus turn 3, 6 turn 3, and 2 turn 4, and scoring 8, 8, 8, and 4 for the primary round 2, whatever. But I think because the Thunderhammer squad, I think because the Lightning Claw squad died to those Halberd dudes, and it really sucked. That I think that cost me the game. I think if I could redo it, I would put the Inceptors on the field rather than deep strike them, and move them up with the Lightning Claw squad and shoot the 18 shots times 2 at those guys. That would have helped me out so much. And he had his own angel sacrifice thing going on too with his Canoness. So all of my Thunderhammer's hits had to go into that Canoness or whatever, and then they again got to attack me and kill me, and not even, mind you, all the Meltas that are alive in the back and his troops. I think, and that just won him the game. That was round 1. That one was really slow. We had to talk out the last round too. Let's see here. Round 2. Round 2 was against Logan. It was Thousand Suns. It was like 20 Terminators. It was so stupid. He has a good list. He has a really good list. But I had no chance. I knew that. Yeah, he had 44 points of Rubik Marines. So that's 5. Another squad of Rubik Marines. So he had 4 Rubik Marine squads, 5-man. Hellbrute with Melta. Terminators. Let's see. He has 450 points of Terminators, Missile Pack, Doombolt, Combi Bolters, Infernal Bolters. Let's see what else he's got on here. Another squad, 445 points. How many Terminators is that? 7, 7 is 14. 7 and 7, that's 28 Terminators. Oh my god, I wasn't off. My guess was 30 when I was talking to people. Oh my goodness. 2 Chaos Spawns for the objectives. And then, of course, he's got Ahriman and 2 other sorcerers. Something like that. Yeah, here we go. Ahriman, Exalted Sorcerer, and Infernal Master. Ahriman had Weaver of Fates, Prescience, High Acolytes, Outworldly Presence. The Sorcerer had Gaze of Hate, Firestorm, Scrolls. They all had Disc, um, Empiric Guidance, Glimpse of Eternity, Mindstorm, Master of Misinformants, a Crystal. And I remember he had this like Thousand Sun specific one, and he was like cashing in like 12 Cabal points or something. It was for every unit he had, he gained Cabal points. It was just unlimited. It was madness. It was so easy for him to do spells and secondary spells. Um, he had what does this say? Wrath of Magnus, Raise the Banners, and Vital Intelligence. Intelligence? Intel? I picked Relentless Assault, Deploy, and Psychic Interrogation. Oh, he picked Interrogation too. That's right. He picked Interrogation, Wrath of Magnus, and Raise the Banners. I did Interrogation, Deploy, Relentless Assault. And this mission was Tides of Convictions. So that one was hold 2, hold 3, hold more. If you gotta hold the objective in your zone to gain a command point. It's overrun. If you hold an objective on their side, you score 2. End of the battle, you score 4 points. If you control their objective in their deployment zone, 2 in their territory. So this one was actually a good one for me. I thought about picking no prisoners, but at the end of the game, I would have gained 5 points. I think I killed maybe 5, 6 Terminators and 10 basic Space Marines, the Rubicon. I should have killed all 3 of his characters. This is what cost me the game. But I remember he went first. Oh, I went first. I moved up my Inceptors, and then I had them so close up to the edge that it was easy for me to do deploy Telepo-homers. And then what else was it? Oh, my Assault Marines were up on the left side too. And I remember shooting some Rubicon, and I didn't kill anybody, which was nuts. Death Company, they moved up and made a charge. No, I didn't charge turn 1. I remember that. I stayed back out of line of sight. My whole army. I remember that. I moved up my whole army out of line of sight. Let's see here. See if I can get some pictures. Yeah, I hid behind the building on the left side, and I had my company veterans holding the objective on the right side and in the center, two squads. And actually, these guys were really good because they held the objective on the right side for 3 rounds, untouched, uncontested. They were hidden out of line of sight. He had to come up with his Rubicons. Of course, they got smited away, but like they were still really good. Um, yeah, Death Company made a first turn charge on the left side against some basic Rubicon, and I think I killed maybe three, even with Blood Chalice. It was not fun. Um, oh, turn two I made that. That's right. Turn two I made it, and I made this big old like I trapped like half of his Terminators and his Rubicon with the Assault Squad, with the Death Company, with veterans. I kept my Thunderhammer squads back on purpose because I wanted them to be a turn two charge. And character, I did a good job picking Psychic Interrogation instead of Grind Them Down or whatever because I did roll well, but he was rolling better than me. He didn't even have a +1 to his denies. He had a character that had a free reroll, but I always just stay outside of that range. But he just rolled better than me. Um, so it was a very fluffy scenario. Um, hmm. I mean, Relentless Assault was so good for me every match. I got 12 points off of that because I was in the background for round two, three, four, and I think turn five I was basically tabled. Deployed Templar Homers. I did round two with the Assault Marines. I remember